Have you ever thought about getting remarried but weren't sure if it was the right decision? As we grow older, our perspectives on love, companionship, and marriage evolve. What once seemed like a straightforward choice in our younger years now comes with a set of unique challenges and considerations. Remarrying after 60 isn't just about love. It's about blending lives, families, finances, and expectations in a way that works for this stage of life. Many people assume that finding a new partner later in life is simple, but the reality is quite different. Whether you've been single for years, recently divorced, or have lost a spouse, stepping into marriage again requires careful thought. Financial implications, family dynamics, legal matters, and personal happiness all play a crucial role in determining whether remarriage is truly the right path. Unfortunately, too many people rush into it without fully understanding how it might impact their future. What seems like a romantic and fulfilling choice in the moment can sometimes lead to unexpected stress and complications later on. But knowledge is power. By taking the time to explore the realities of remarriage, you can make an informed decision, one that brings fulfillment, security, and peace rather than regret. In this discussion, we will uncover 5 essential truths that everyone over 60 should know before saying, "I do" again. These insights will help you navigate important questions. How will remarriage affect your financial stability, retirement savings, or Social Security benefits? How will your children and grandchildren react? And how can you maintain harmony in your family? What emotional adjustments are necessary to make this new relationship successful? Are there legal steps you should take to protect your assets and ensure that your estate planning aligns with your wishes? And most importantly, does remarriage align with your personal vision of happiness at this stage of life? By the end of this discussion, you'll have a clearer perspective on what remarriage truly entails. Whether you are actively considering it or just curious about the possibilities, understanding these key factors can help you move forward with confidence. Love is a beautiful thing at any age, but making a well-informed choice will ensure that your future is built on a strong foundation. So, let's dive into these crucial insights and discover whether remarriage after 60 is the right choice for you. One, remarriage after 60 can bring joy and companionship, but it also comes with significant financial changes. Many people entering a new marriage at this age do not anticipate the impact it will have on their income, savings, Social Security benefits, and inheritance. Without careful planning, you can face complex financial issues that affect you and your family. Therefore, it is important to understand these changes and plan carefully. One of the biggest financial impacts of remarriage is the impact on Social Security benefits. In the United States, if you are receiving benefits from your deceased spouse's work record or from a previous marriage, remarriage can cause you to lose those benefits. Many people do not realize this until they are officially married, leading to financial turmoil. Therefore, before deciding to remarry, you should review the regulations on social assistance and consult a financial expert to ensure that you do not lose an important source of income. In addition, remarriage can also affect pensions and other benefits. If either of you has a pension or retirement benefits from the government or a private company, it is important to consider carefully whether the marriage will change the amount received. Some pension plans have regulations that limit or adjust benefits when the beneficiary remarries. This can significantly reduce monthly income, affecting the quality of life after marriage. In addition to income, assets and inheritance are also important issues when remarrying at 60. When you marry, your assets may be legally tied to your new partner, which can change your plan for dividing assets among children or relatives. Without a clear plan, the assets you intend to leave to your children may be divided according to the law rather than your personal wishes. To avoid unnecessary disputes, you should make a will or prenuptial agreement to protect your assets and ensure the rights of all parties involved. In addition, the spending and financial habits of two people may also be different. One person may be used to a frugal lifestyle, while the other is a spendthrift. This difference can lead to conflict in the marriage if not agreed upon from the beginning. Therefore, before getting married, both parties should sit down to discuss how to manage finances, including maintaining separate or joint accounts, spending and saving methods, as well as long-term financial planning. Finally, remarriage after 60 is not only an emotional issue, but also an important financial decision. Understanding changes in income, assets, estates, and legal issues can help you avoid unwanted risks. By planning carefully and communicating openly with your spouse and family, you can ensure a happy marriage without financial turmoil. Two family relationships become complicated when remarrying after 60. Remarriage after 60 is not only a connection between two people, but also an integration between two families with histories, expectations, and relationships that have been built up over many years. Unlike when getting married at a young age, when both are starting a new life from scratch, remarriage at this stage often comes with established family relationships and can become much more complicated. Without good preparation, conflicts between family members can affect the happiness of the new marriage. One of the biggest challenges when remarrying after 60 is the reaction of adult children. Although they love and want their parents to be happy, it is not always easy for them to accept a new person entering the family life. For many children, the remarriage of a parent can create feelings of loss, anxiety, or even opposition. They may feel loyal to the deceased parent or worry that the new parent will change family traditions and affect the legacy. Some children may fear that family assets or memories will not be preserved as they once were. Relationships with grandchildren may also be affected. If grandparents have previously played an important role in their grandchildren's lives, the time they spend with their family may change when they marry. This may cause grandchildren to feel distant or have difficulty accepting their grandparents' new partner. Conversely, if the new partner also has children and grandchildren, the integration of the two families may create challenges in how they communicate, share time, and establish new relationships. In addition, conflicts may arise over the division of assets and inheritance rights. Many children fear that their parents may change their will or transfer part of their assets to a new partner, affecting what they believe are their legitimate interests. Although this is a sensitive topic, if not discussed clearly from the beginning, it can lead to misunderstandings, arguments, and even family conflict. However, these challenges do not mean that remarriage after 60 is not something to do. On the contrary, if handled skillfully, it can bring joy, bonding, and create a larger family with many meaningful relationships. It is important to have open and transparent communication with family members. Take the time to talk to your children and grandchildren about your decision to remarry. Listen to their concerns and clearly explain your wishes and plans. If needed, seek the support of a family counselor to help the integration process go more smoothly. In short, when you remarry after 60, your family doesn't just expand, it becomes more complex. Building understanding, setting clear boundaries, and maintaining respect among family members are key to ensuring that your new marriage doesn't create unwanted tensions. With careful preparation and honest dialogue, you can create a harmonious family where everyone feels loved and respected. 3 emotional expectations change when remarrying after 60. Love and marriage have different meanings and expectations at each stage of life. When young, marriage is often associated with building a life together, raising children, and striving for a career. However, when passing the age of 60, expectations about a relationship change significantly. At this stage, marriage is no longer just a bond to build together, but mainly towards companionship, sharing, and maintaining independence while still having a partner by your side. Being aware of the changes in emotional expectations will help people who remarry after 60 have a happy and sustainable married life. One of the biggest differences in marriage after 60 is the level of independence of each person. By this age, both people often have stable lives with their own habits, interests, and lifestyles. They are used to living alone or having a certain rhythm of life, so remarriage can bring both joy and challenges when it comes to adjusting to another person. If when they were young, couples often built their lives together from scratch, then after 60, each person has a solid foundation, leading to more complicated adaptation. In addition, past experiences also greatly affect emotional expectations. If a person has been through a long marriage, they may be used to the old way of loving and caring, which can create unconscious comparisons between the new partner and the old one. On the contrary, if someone has been single or divorced for a long time, they may be used to being independent and having their own limits in a relationship. It is important for both partners to understand and respect each other's emotional history and to find ways to communicate appropriately so as not to create pressure or feel like they have to change completely for the other person. Another factor to consider is expectations of personal time and space. When couples are young, they tend to be more closely involved in all activities, But when they remarry after 60, many people still want to retain some independence for themselves. Some people want to share every moment with their partner, while others prefer to maintain some personal habits, such as spending time alone with hobbies, friends, or family. Therefore, establishing a balance between time together and personal space is important to maintain harmony in the marriage. Additionally, health and support issues play an important role in emotional expectations when remarrying after 60. Many people want a partner to care for and support them as they age, but this also needs to be discussed clearly. Not everyone wants or is willing to be a full-time caregiver for their partner, and this can lead to disappointment if expectations are not shared from the start. In short, when entering a new marriage after 60, understanding your own and your partner's emotional expectations is important to building a healthy and lasting relationship. Love at this stage is not only about commitment, but also about respect for personal space, understanding, and supporting each other. By communicating openly and realistically about your expectations, couples can enjoy a happy and meaningful relationship in the years to come. For when entering a new marriage at the age of 60 or older, many people focus only on the emotional aspect and forget about the legal issues that can greatly affect their assets, rights, and future as well as their children. Marriage is not simply a bond between two people, but also a legal bond with many complicated consequences if not carefully considered. One of the most important issues is inheritance and property division. Many older people have children of their own and want to protect their children's rights, but without proper preparation, a new spouse can accidentally become the primary beneficiary, leaving the children disadvantaged. In many legal systems, when a person marries, their spouse will have a legal right to a portion of the property, even if a will was made. This can lead to disputes if there is no clear agreement before the marriage. A common way to address this issue is to draw up a prenuptial agreement to clearly define what assets belong to whom before entering into a new marriage. In addition, medical and financial power of attorney is also an issue that needs to be considered. As you get older, the risk of serious health problems increases, and without clear legal documents, the new spouse may become the one who makes all medical decisions, instead of the children or other relatives. This can cause unwanted conflicts between family members, especially if the children feel that their parent is not receiving the best care from their new partner. To avoid this situation, it is extremely important to draw up a medical power of attorney, designating the person who has the right to make decisions when they are no longer able to make decisions for themselves. In addition, marrying late also affects the rights to social insurance, pensions, and benefits. In some cases, remarriage can result in the loss of financial benefits an individual receives from a previous marriage, such as a widow's pension. Understanding the relevant regulations before getting married will help avoid unnecessary financial disadvantages. In addition, for those who own a business or have large assets, remarriage without a clear legal plan can lead to undesirable consequences, such as the new spouse having partial control of the business. Therefore, before entering into a marriage at an old age, consulting a lawyer to review financial plans, wills, and related legal documents is extremely necessary. A happy marriage is not only based on love but also must be built on a solid legal foundation to ensure the rights of all parties involved. 5. When entering a new marriage at the age of 60 or older, the definition of happiness is no longer the same as in the years of youth. If when young, happiness in marriage can be associated with big dreams, a solid career, grown children, or a home full of material things, then in old age, happiness has a completely different meaning. It is no longer something far away but becomes simpler, coming from peaceful moments, companionship, and mutual understanding. When two people decide to get married at this age, they are often no longer pressured by building assets or taking care of children, but instead, they seek sharing, comfort, and companionship in the remaining years. Their happiness does not lie in lavish trips or long-term plans, but in the small things every day, such as taking a walk together, enjoying breakfast on the porch, or simply having someone to listen to and share joys and sorrows. Another important thing is that when people get older, they tend to appreciate the present more, have less unrealistic expectations, and learn to be content with what they have. If when they are young, happiness can come from conquering and achieving great goals, then at the age of 60 and above, happiness is satisfaction with life, peace of mind, and good health. Many people who remarry at this age no longer place great importance on the criteria of appearance, finances, or social status of their partner, but focus on similarities in life views, living habits, and ways of treating each other. They understand that no marriage is perfect, and instead of trying to change each other, They accept each other for who they are and enjoy life to the fullest. In addition, independence in marriage also becomes a more important factor. At this age, many people are used to living alone, have personal habits and preferences that are difficult to change. Therefore, they do not seek a relationship that is too tightly bound but desire a connection that is just enough, with respect for each other's private space. There are older couples who, although married, still maintain their own living habits, do not interfere too deeply in each other's lives, which helps them feel more comfortable and maintain harmony in the relationship. Finally, happiness in old age also comes from spiritual peace. After going through the ups and downs of life, people easily let go of worries, no longer pick up on small things, but instead are forgiving, tolerant, and cherish what they have. A marriage at the age of 60 is no longer a bond to build the future together, but a companionship to enjoy the present, to feel the most genuine values of life. Entering the later stages of life, we gradually realize that happiness no longer lies in distant things or frivolous material things, but comes from peace of mind, companionship, and mutual understanding. In old age, the most important thing is not to have a lot but to know enough, to appreciate what you have. A happy relationship at this age does not need long-term promises but needs sincere care, respect for personal space, and sharing every simple moment. Instead of worrying about the past or the future, learn to enjoy the present, slow down to feel the joy of the little things, a warm cup of tea, a meaningful conversation, or an afternoon walk with your partner. Let go of worries, embrace life with tolerance and gentleness. Because happiness is not a destination but a journey that we go through every day, with a peaceful heart and an open mind. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.